Alright folks, so let's look at what the white supremacists have to say about Candace Owens and Kanye West with the White Lives Matter shirt. One guy says, not surprising, but it's really sad when blacks have the balls to say white lives matter, but whites don't. White power, pitbull power is his signature. Okay. By the way, we're going to be reading what actual white supremacists say. We're not on that. We don't want to hear what MSNBC or CNN has to say about white supremacists. We want to hear what the actual white supremacists have to say, right? We don't want a narrative. We want the truth. What do they think about Candance Owens? That's what we're doing here. So if you don't want to hear racist content, which I do not condone, I do not support what these people are saying. They're hateful. They are ignorant, right? But I think it's important for people to understand how these people think. And more importantly, to understand what people like Candance Owens and Officer Tatum and Kanye West represent. They have black privilege, so they don't get much heat. Still, I can appreciate and respect it. White supremacists respect. Societal pets of the moment can do that. Those who are really targeted can't. Negroes don't represent us, and we do not need their nonsense. Unapologetically white. This one says, I see the shirts as patronizing and mocking. So they believe they are mocking their slogan. Yes, we don't need those crappy t-shirts. It's more of a mockery of White Lives Matter message by them. Blacks love to ridicule whites like this all the time. So many of them, interesting, some of the white supremacists are smart enough to see through the BS. These two are frauds. They tell the white community what it wants to hear. So this is what a white supremacist since 2019 thinks. That Candance Owens and Kanye West are frauds. They tell the white community what it wants to hear. So the white community wants to hear about how violent blacks are and we're committing most of the crimes. And what about black on black crime? What about black on black crime and white lives matter? So white supremacists believe that the things that Officer Tatum, Candance Owens, and Kanye say are things that white community wants to hear. And that they're doing this for profit and nothing else. Yet again, for some reason, I'm able to agree with white supremacists. Oh my goodness. Even the white supremacists see through the BS. But somehow, there isn't a major recognition of this within the conservative community. Certainly some people. But overall, I mean, how could Candance Owens become so successful, right? If there was a major sort of rejection of what she says and what she's about from the conservative community. The fact that she's successful means that overall, the conservative community agrees with what she has to say, right? Certainly there isn't a large enough part of the conservative community that's like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Like, we reject you. Right, we're conservatives, and we stand for conservative values, but what you're doing is a fraud. No, right? Any kind of message like that is whisper quiet, right? Joe Biden does a milquetoast speech about, most of the Republicans are good people, but there's few of them. As if that's not true, and I hate to use the both sides argument. Like, that's how rejecting a reality you have to be. To look at what Joe Biden said in that milquetoast speech is like, oh my goodness. How ignorant do you have to be to not recognize that whether you're on the left or the right, you have a small group within your side that is insane, violent, criminal, right? Traitors to what this country stands for, right? There are people on the left who would like to see America destroyed. There are dishonest right-wingers who would like to present these people like they're the majority voice, as if they're anything more than a fringe. But they do exist. There are people literally on the left who would like to see America destroyed in some way or another, right? From that can come a rebirth, blah, blah, blah. And there are folks on the right, right, who also are violent, criminal traitors. So someone pointing out that there's some on the other side who are like this, I mean, that's milquetoast. You're going to deny the facts? Remember how they talked about this, I'll call it the IV drug, the miracle drug for the Rona, the worms thing, and they acted like it was so dangerous. Fact is, it's been used safely for a very, very long time. That's a fact. Never mind the people who were promoting it were on some BS. But the idea that it was some crazy thing that's just going to be killing people. I mean, you can overdose on anything. People can die from water, literally. Too much water, you can die from it. But this is a drug that's been used safely for a very, very long time. Right? Put aside abuse of the drug, but the drug itself has been used safely for a very, very long time. That's a fact. It's a fact that there are extremists on the right. It's a fact that there's extremists on the left. Right? Imagine secretly Candace Owens is a black supremacist sympathizer and West is on the front line of those groups thinking. So listen to what this white supremacist said, right? Candance Owens and Kanye West saying things that many white supremacists seem to agree with and support. But this guy says he thinks Candance Owens is a black supremacist. Think about that for a second. Many folks on the left, right, and one of the only people I've found on the right willing to be honest about this stuff, Ricky, right? Many people who call them out say that they're grifting, they're fake, they're pretending to be something that they're not. They're espousing beliefs that they do not actually believe in. And here's an actual white supremacist, right? They're saying rhetoric that white supremacists agree with, but a white supremacist still is able to see, I don't think they actually believe the things they're saying. Essentially, this white supremacist is calling Candance Owens a grifter on an extreme level because he's not suggesting that she's a liberal like she was. Right? Look at Candance Owens' history, what she was doing in the past, right? She was what many would call a shitlip. But this guy's saying it's even worse than that. He thinks she's a black supremacist. Now, I'm not agreeing with him. I'm just saying, think about that a white supremacist thinks that she's so fake that he says black supremacist. Wow. And West is on front lines of that thinking. So, West, a black supremacist. He talks about blacks or the original Jews, which is something that the very racist Hebrew Israelites always say. And I would regard them as black supremacists. So Kanye West is literally putting out the message of actual black supremacists. This white supremacist thinks Kanye West is on the front lines of black supremacy. And that the stuff he says, it's all an act, it's basically a grift. All right. This guy says he thinks it's a mockery rather than a meaningful statement. They know that the establishment is on their side. The establishment is on their side, says a white supremacist. They think the establishment is on the side of Candance Owens. Candace is ideal clickbait for some of my best friends are black crowd. What? A white supremacist is saying that people who like to say, my best friend is black, I'm not racist, my best friend is black. A white supremacist thinks that that is a key demographic for Candance Owens. I'm not racist. My wife is black. I mean, I treat her like a sex toy and like she's inferior to me, right? She's there basically as a sex doll. But I married her, so I can't be racist. Anyway, I like Candance Owens. I think it was a nice gesture. This guy's got 7,000 posts on a white supremacist website. Wearing those shirts is an in-your-face sham to white. I really like race-mixing Coconut Owens guy so good because she says some things that I like to hear whilst getting money from dumb-ass whites. I also support Jews who do this or clowns like Zio Trump. Oh, man. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not even going to comment on that one. I agree that she seems okay. The act itself is a mocking slap in the face. You know they are secretly laughing at the impotence of whites to be able to wear something like that. They are not part of nor truly understand the core idea of our movement. So, this white supremacist is claiming, basically, that the rhetoric that she's using is of their movement. But he doesn't think it's a genuine representation of their movement. So he's saying, white lives matter, that's us. But they're not one of us. They don't get us, right? That's us. That you're using our word, but you're not down. You don't know what us whites deal with. Wow. This one says, everyone should wear one. I'm going to order one today and wear it proudly as a white. We should not be prohibited from wearing anything. Right on. I hate his guts, both of them. What he really means is Mudshark lives matter. Here's his current S word. Here is Candance Owens and her man. I noticed that this is usually the case. When you find brown-skinned people who are online all day talking about blacks this and black that in the black community, right? Almost every single time you look at their spouse, it's a so-called white. The token brown-skinned woman on Fox News, married to white guy, right? Candance Owens, white guy. Kanye, white woman. This guy says, are you okay with it when disgusting Negroes stick their black snake in white girls like the one I posted? When white men have ape sex with big-lipped she-boons like Candance Owens? Whose side are you on anyway? Okay. I appreciate her tweets and comments, but her husband is British intelligence. Okay. Listen to what this guy says. We need pro-white political and social gains. We need pro-white political and social gains. Wearing White Lives Matter in defiance of ADL and other anti-white groups could trigger positive developments. This guy thinks that what they did can help to promote pro-white politics. Got it. You're okay with interracial sex as long as they wear a shirt you like. There's no way West and Owens would last 5 minutes in the media if the media owners didn't approve of them. It's great that they echo the correct views, but they're not going to preserve society. Whites have to take the lead and do the heavy lifting. At best, what West and Owens are doing is tokenism and not much different from Colin Powell or Morgan Freeman movies. On the flip side, black lives don't matter without white people, because without white people, there would be no one for black lives to matter to. I will say that this is one of the most active posts on this white supremacist website. White supremacists are taking a keen interest in what Kanye West and Candance Owens are doing. Why is that? Where have we seen this list posted before? The Jewish-run media. So white supremacists seem to be very excited about what Kanye West is doing. I don't hear a lot of backlash coming from the conservative community. So unfortunately, to many normies, this is going to look very incriminating. It's going to match the message that they're hearing from networks like MSNBC. In a similar vein, if you're on the liberal side, think about racist Reverend Jesse Jackson on MSNBC, and the liberals are silent. They talk all this talk about racism, and yet they don't have anything to say about it. You listen to right-wing influencers talk about how it's the left who are racist. And as an outsider, you look at how they're so silent about people like this racist guy on MSNBC. Well, how do you think liberals look at the silence from conservatives about Candance Owens and Kanye West? What is a rational person who's not really engaged in politics supposed to think? If there's a lot of pushback from the conservative community, it seems that they're okay with it. That is what a rational person would come to the conclusion of without having more information, of course. And if you're okay with that perception, then continue to be silent. If you have a problem with it, we have something in this country called the First Amendment. Use it. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell.